Hello friends to a brand new episode of Building Blocks. So today it's a pleasure for me to have with me Mr. Sunil Shah from VIN Group of Companies. He is the owner and CEO of VIN Group of Companies, and they deal into the design, architecture and manufacturing or construction process of custom homes and commercial establishments, including restaurants. That is their specialty. Mr. Sunil is a professional engineer by designation and a very polite person to deal with. Thank you so much, sir, for coming here today.
Thank you very much.
I truly appreciate your time. I have some questions for you.
Yeah.
So the first one, what I have is that what is the requirement for basement construction or addition or extension of a house? Like some people will build accessory extension in the back.
Yeah. So there are standard, zoning requirement for each permit process.
Right.
For the basement apartment, you need at least three
Right.
official parking. So you have to check the zoning. That first thing you have to check in the zoning that secondary dwelling unit is allowed in your property or not.
Okay.
And you have to fulfill all the fire requirements. You have to fulfill all the zoning requirements. Then you can get the permit for the secondary dwelling unit.
Mm-hmm.
Like all cities, they have a 3 parking requirement.
Right.
But example like Brampton, they have their own amendment.
Right.
You can make secondary dwelling unit with 2 parking as
Okay.
well. So in short, in Brampton, you can make the secondary legal unit in semi-detached or corner townhouse and detached house.
Mm-hmm.
While in all other cities right now, if you have a 2-car garage detached house, then you can make the secondary dwelling unit.
Got you.
Now, regarding addition in your backyard,
Mm-hmm.
you must have some 30 to 40 feet of space in your backyard, because there is always zoning requirement that your rear yard margin should be around 10 meter, in some cases 7 meter. So if you want to extend your house 10 feet and
Right.
you have a minimum requirement as per zoning 10 meter rear yard, then 10 meter is around 33 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to extend another 10 feet. So that means you have a 43 feet backyard, then you can add 10 feet
Okay.
additional in your backyard. On the top of that, there is also another requirement. Suppose only 35% construction is allowed in your property. And right now you have already 35% construction in your existing house, then you cannot extend it.
Got you.
Even your rear yard requirement fulfill, still you cannot add, because you are not falling in the criteria of floor space index.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some multiple criteria in order to qualify for the addition of the house. Same way extension, if height's allowed, then you can do the extension.
Mm-hmm.
So for that also again you have to check your zoning.
Mm-hmm.
So you can ask any professional person and they can help you to find out the zoning requirement, and they can guide you that you can make the secondary dwelling unit or addition or extension in the property.
So I think it's what I am getting is it's more about offset in the rear of the property,
Yeah.
where the property line finishes and from the lot line.
Yeah.
So if it's 50 feet or 50 feet plus, it's easy
It's easy to get the addition permit.
addition permit.
Yeah.
If it is small, the more difficult it is.
Sometimes, we are using minor variance. If
Okay.
in order to fulfill that requirement, suppose somebody want to extend 10 feet,
Mm-hmm.
but they are short with 3, 4, 5 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to the minor variance and we can try to get the approval. But minor variance, generally, they help you around 10%. If your your requirement is 90%,
Mm-hmm.
then they can help you in 10%. But you're not falling in that 90%. That means you need 40 feet rear yard, but you have only 20 feet, then they are not going to help you.
Got it.
But suppose you need 40 feet and you have 35 feet, they will help you.
Okay. I see.
So that's where the things are working for the minor variance as well.
And sir, the next one, what I have today, like these days, I hear a lot about garden suite in the back,
Yeah.
which is a separate kind of a dwelling, self-sufficient. So can you tell something?
Yeah, it's a
what
nice
it
and new
involves?
concept, that people right now, government is also insisting the people to get more units. So in your one house, they are trying to help you make 3 units now: one basement apartment, garden suite, and your main house. So basically, for the garden suite, you must have a 3 parking. So that means you must have a 2-car garage house. Then you can get the 3 parking. And also, you need at least minimum 40 feet deep backyard and 30 to 35 feet wide backyard. Then you can create one small garden suite, because garden suite square feet is generally around 370 to 380 square feet. It's a 1-bedroom apartment. It has a separate furnace room, so utility room basically. You can put your furnace and HRV over there. You have a 1-bedroom, 1 washroom, 1 kitchen, small dining and living area, and you have to go for the new survey and new grading plan for that garden suite. But right now it's allowed in Brampton and some area of Toronto.
Okay.
But it will be available for all cities shortly. As per our experience, we can say the government will allow maybe after July or August in all cities.
So I think it is more like a coach house on top of garages.
People were doing the coach house in top of garages in Markham area, because it's allowed in Markham area. Coach house is allowed in Markham area. Same way, these things you can do in your backyard basically.
Same concept.
Yeah, same concept.
So next one, what I have in my list here is that what is Ontario Building Code?
Ontario Building Code is little bit of technical things, like professional engineer and architects. They are using this Ontario Building Code because they have some standard code for fire, space, living space, plus minimum window requirement, minimum insulation requirement. That means you must have a R22 in your exterior wall. You must have R60 in your attic. So they give one criteria that you require minimum this much size of 1 bedroom, and they give you that if you have 1 bedroom, your living and dining area should be around 143 square feet. So they have some standard requirement for room. They have some standard requirement for the window. They have standard requirement for fire. They have standard requirement for insulation. So everything you can find in Ontario Building Code. So regarding the structure design also, the city guys can look into Ontario Building Code to check the designing. So it's a technical things which professional engineer and architect can help you in the Ontario Building Code.
So basically the zoning for a municipality determines that what can be built.
Yeah.
And then how it has to be built is
as determined by the Ontario Building Code. You got it.
Okay. And sir, so this is another one which I wanted to ask, that if a person wants to or intends to build a custom house, and so they have 2 options. One, they buy a good 60 feet plus lot in Oakville or South Mississauga or South Oakville or South Toronto, somewhere. And or the other is that they find a vacant land where the zoning allows to create a custom house. So, but what they should keep in mind when they finalize on a piece of land for if they have intention of building a custom house?
Yeah, right. So before they buy any land, they must have to check zoning. So they can ask any professional person, that like professional engineer, architect, that what's the zoning allowed.
Okay.
So how much construction he can do on that lot? What is the highest height he can keep on the lot? And also how much margin he has to leave from front, back, side. So he can understand that his requirements is going to be fulfilled or not. Also, they have to check that any easement on the property, there is any, the property is in flood zone or not. They have to make sure there is any environmental issue in the property, right? Because there are so many old houses as asbestos and lead in the house, right? So when they demolish the house, they have to consider that cost as well, because they have to get the report. Because city always asks the report that there is any environmental issue, or there is any asbestos, or there is any lead. So people has to consider all these costs. So professional person can help to find out that they have all these things or not. Also, if it is a flooding zone, then the cost of the construction will be different from the normal construction cost. Right? So they have to consider all these factors before buying any old property or any vacant land. Even vacant land also, it's a good idea to check everything, zoning, and there is any contamination in the soil or not. So these all points are very important before you buy any land.
And how much square footage they can build?
It's professional guy, they can check and they can provide you the information that how many square feet house he can build over there. Because, you know, people are thinking that it's a 10,000 square feet lot, but they don't know what is the zoning. It's RL1, RL2, RL3 or rural. Suppose it's a rural zoning, then you can only build 10%, right? So generally in rural zoning, only 10% construction allowed. So you have to make sure that what is the zoning. So that's how you can get your number, that how many square feet house you can build over there.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir. And when do we need building permit from the city? So what are the scenarios where we would need a building permit, or there are some construction things where we don't need a permit? Is it?
Yeah. If you, first thing, if I simplify in a very simple way, if you are doing any addition, extension or basement apartment or custom house, you need the building permit. And in interior finishing, you are touching any structural item, then you need the building permit. That means if you have a wall between the dining and kitchen, so you don't know that is structural wall or not. So you have to take the advice from professional engineer. And if it is a structural wall, before you remove, you have to take the permit. Even you are doing big renovations, that means you are changing rooms layout, you are adding any rooms in this house, you are adding any washroom in the house, you need require building permit. But to change the flooring, to do the painting, to change some doors, you don't require building permit.
Okay.
But you are making any structural changes, yes.
Right. And so we talked about custom houses, that there is a process to create that package.
Yeah.
For the building permit.
Yeah.
So in commercial construction, is it the same or?
Both are different. In custom houses, you have to create a new survey, new grading plan, new site services plan, new architecture, structure, mechanical plan, new roof plan, right? And you have to prepare all this package,
right,
and you have to submit into city. To prepare all this package, it's always take 4 to 5 months, and for 6 to 8 months for the permit. And it's always cost more because you are involving surveyor, you are involving roof company, you are involving mechanical engineer, architecture, structure engineer, everybody you are involving in one project. So it's always cost more. While in commercial restaurant permit, offices permit, you are using the existing space. That means you don't require any new survey grading or any roof plan. You have to only involve a structure architect and mechanical engineer. So to prepare all this plan, it always take around 2 to 3 weeks. And to get the permit, 4 to 6 weeks. So less time, less money for this type of permit. And for the custom house, more time, more money.
Yeah. So it's quite a huge difference.
Yeah.
And what is the simple way, if you could explain the building permit procedure, or it is just preparation of these documents by a good construction company or an architect?
Yeah, to prepare all this package, you require good architect engineering company basically, because whoever working as an architect or engineer, they are in this business from a long time. They know all the procedures, right? So generally, you have to meet any professional person. You have to explain the situation. You have to explain your requirements. You have to give the information of your property, and they can prepare all this detailed package for you, and they can submit into city in behalf of you. They work as an agent for you, so they can get you the building permit.
Okay. And how your company, VIN Engineering, helps in these situations, or what all services you provide?
Yeah. We are providing all building permit services. We help people with architecture and mechanical designing. So everything done in our office. So you don't need to go anywhere else for the mechanical things or roof things. Everything done in our office and coordinated by our office to other people. Like we also do the roof designing from the roof company. So, but they are working for us from long time. So basically, anybody need any help or any idea or any permit work, we can help them for the building permit for any commercial or residential work.
Excellent.
Right? Also, we can guide people if they're stuck on road and they need some information or they need some guidelines. They can call us and we can provide the information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So thanks once again for your time.
It's my pleasure.
And truly appreciate it. And so thanks a lot, viewers, for your time today. So take care, guys. I'll see you in our next episode. Bye now.